602-629-2440. Proud United States veteran.
Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA. Ocala.
Sound. Isn't that a nice sound, Robin? Wow.
Very nice sound.
We have met Glenn Coleman before. Can we just make this a music show? Forget
there
the
you
talk. Forget the talk part.
Yeah.
I'm for that.
Glenn, you are so good.
We couldn't leave too soon. The hours melted.
This is I want to get my 1970 Nova. I want to get on the beach. I want to drive on Daytona Beach again. They don't let you drive anymore, right?
Yeah, they do.
They do? I thought they stopped it.
Well, they do. There's like a 2.5 mile stretch from the boardwalk
2.5.
the north that you can't drive and park, but the other places you can drive and park.
Can you still crank up good music while you're driving on the beach, though?
Yes, you can.
Can you still look at pretty girls and listen to great music like that?
They're still there.
We're just too old to do anything about it, right?
That is true.
Not that I ever did when I was that age. When I was that age, I was just as dumb as I am now. Glenn, you are amazing. You are in the studio, of course, and Glenn is here. He is a singer, songwriter. If you didn't know, that's your song, right? You wrote that one?
That's correct.
You're awesome.
Correct, yeah.
And you produced it yourself?
Did, yes.
With Gravel Records in London. Is that right?
Gravel Road Records.
Gravel Road.
They're actually out of Oxford, just an outside area of Oxford, which is northwest.
Have you been there?
I lived in England for 3 years. In
really?
fact, the director of the record company was a friend of mine when I played back in the 70s in a band over in England for 3 years. And I played in my own band, but I also farmed myself out to other bands, and his was one of them. And he got back in touch with me back in 2014 for a different reason, but asked me if I was still writing, and I said, yeah, I am. He said, send me some material. I did, and he said, they signed me in February the 9th, actually, of 2014.
Do you know what I like, among other things? I like the fact that the music, you're true to the music that you embody. I don't know how to say that without sounding corny. In other words, you're not being pressured or you're not giving in to whatever the new stuff is. And there's nothing wrong with the new stuff, but you have a history, and that music reflects that history.
I agree entirely. Yeah, I don't write a song with any particular destination in mind. It starts as an idea, and it sort of creates its own self, to be honest.
Yeah.
Well, I think we talked about this before, how I write songs. Sometimes I do it with music first and sometimes lyrics first. So I guess depending on which of those methods I use, the song sort of, it's like water. It finds its own level.
Oh, I like that.
It's a great phrase.
That's a title.
It's a great quote.
Yeah, something in there. All right, so that was a song from your new CD. What's the CD called?
The CD, the album is called Relentless. It's already been released by way of what we call a soft release, which means it's out on iTunes, available for people who digitally keep their music that way.
Okay.
But the hard release will be on February the 9th, and the hard release involves a CD, an actual physical CD will be available to be purchased, and it's called Relentless, and I don't have the information on what outlets it'll be available at yet. But I know that my record label...
But just go online, we look up iTunes, and we get
Sure.
Glenn Coleman, 2 N's in Glenn, by the way.
2 N's in Glenn.
By the way, do you ever release anything in vinyl?
Back in the
Anymore, I mean.
Not anymore. Back in the 60s, I was in bands in the Orlando area we did a lot of demo work. How much national success that would be in question for sure. But yeah.
There's a thing I saw, a gadget, and you, instead of putting the record on a turntable, you put the record on a table, like this table here, and then you put this box on it, and the box drives around and around and around and plays the music.
I've never seen that. Yeah,
That's amazing, isn't
amazing,
it? It's
yeah.
got a name for it. Yeah, it's a box and it drives, and I must have a stylus on the bottom. But I'm thinking, you remember when we used to play with slot cars? How often the slot car would get off of the slot?
Sure.
Well, that's basically what this is doing.
Yeah.
It's going to get off the slot every once in a while. That would be horrible. At least with an arm on a record player, it would skip and you can go fix it. You know.
I wonder if a laser's involved somehow. I don't know how it would. Track
yeah,
that,
you know
but,
what? That's probably true. To keep it on track. Yeah, I don't know. I'll find it during the break. I'll show you the video of it. So.
Very cool. Very cool.
When you played with the bands in England, did they come back here to tour?
No,
To
we
US
were
audiences?
mostly local. Again, we were chasing the dream, trying to get the record deal back then. And I was over there originally in the U.S. Air Force, but got in a band immediately, actually formed my own band within 2 or 3 months. And we played for the next 3 years that I was there in all the pubs, and we played in London and Oxford and all the smaller communities around. It was just great. It was just indescribable for me to get back there, which was the birthplace of what got me into this business in the first place, which was the Beatles. To go back to where they're from was incredible.
Well, thank you for your service. I didn't know you
Well, I
were in the
appreciate it.
Air
Thank
Force.
you very much.
Yeah, and the risk we take of having you on after we've had you on is that I forget what I asked you the last time, so I might ask you the same questions.
And I'll try to give you the same answer.
Which is okay. But I think I have a question I didn't ask you. I think I have one I did not ask you. What was your first instrument? What did you first learn?
Well, actually, my very first instrument was took piano lessons when I was like 7. But then I think I was 8, and in the elementary school band, I lived in Baltimore at the time. My family lived there, and I took up the French horn. And I played that for about a year and a half, and then we moved to Florida, and I pretty much didn't play anything until the Beatles came out, and in '63 is when I said, okay, that's what I want to do. So I became a guitar player.
Yeah.
It's kind of I'll make it a quick, funny story here. Me and the 3 guys that were my best pals then, me and 2 other guys, we decided we're going to be a band, so everybody wanted to be the drummer. So we flipped coins to see who could be the drummer. I didn't win that one, but the second flip was for lead guitar player, and I won that one. So that's how I became lead guitar player.
Wow, how
That's
cool
funny.
is that?
So are you one of those guys that can play every instrument?
I can't play every instrument, but I mean, if you're in rock and roll long enough, you've sat at drums and you've learned how to figure it out to a certain extent. Bass guitar is essentially a guitar. Keyboards, again, I was a music major when I went to junior college, so I had to I dink around on the piano, plus my learning it when I was really young. But I don't consider myself. If somebody asks me, "What do you play?" I say guitar. but I can play this.
When you were younger and you were learning the guitar, I guess maybe you could apply this to the French horn. I don't know. By the way, the French horn does appear in some Beatles songs, thanks to George Martin, right?
Several bands. The Who used them a lot. On Tommy, and but yeah, I know the French horn's a different instrument.
Do you know who I saw live 100 years ago was Jethro Tull, and I don't remember what was his name? Ian Anderson.
Ian Anderson,
the guy with the flute.
Yep.
Who always did this with his eyes.
Yep.
He played. Do you remember that?
I don't remember.
Yeah, he was crazy.
Yeah, I don't know if he was crazy or if that was just a facial thing. His eyes like bug out when he played.
Larry and I were out on Saturday around the town, and I had seen my first drummer drumming on an electronic drum kit. Do they sound to you like the regular kit drums with the the regular canvas and stuff on them, or do you like the electronic drums now, or what do you think?
It's funny because when they first came out, they didn't sound anything like drums, but the companies that make them, Roland and the others, they're getting really close. But there's some intangible thing missing for me anyway, and I can't even really describe it when I'm playing along with a really good electronic drum set or drummer that's playing one, until I get back in with the drummer that's on an acoustic set.
Oh.
And then it's sort of an intangible thing. There's a lot of subtleties that are there with an acoustic set that's not there with electronic set. A lot of it has to do with touch sensitivity as well. It used to be when they first came out, no matter how hard you hit the drum, it came out in the same volume. Now they have touch sensitivity to a certain extent, so you can do rolls that sort of build up, but originally you couldn't. No matter how hard or soft you hit the drum,
really?
It's going to have the same volume.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's crazy.
Oh my
that's
gosh.
not good.
They're
That's
much
not good.
better now, much better. But I do prefer playing with the drummer.
The acoustic.
Yeah, I'm now putting a trio together.
Oh,
to
nice.
do promotional gigs to promote the album. And my drummer happens to be my son, my oldest son.
Nice. What's his name?
His name is Eric Coleman.
Okay.
And my bass player also happens to be my son. He's a guitar player that's now converting to bass.
And what's his
he's
name?
His name is Jason. And so
So dad and sons.
we're doing
Nice.
we're doing all my original stuff.
What are you calling yourselves? The Colemans?
I just think it's going to be called Glenn Coleman, the Glenn Coleman Band, probably just for purely promotional reasons. That's what we're playing. We're playing the music for my album. As time goes forward, if we write any new material and it involves them, then we'll have to maybe go a different direction.
How sweet is that you can do that with your
It's amazing.
with your kids? Are they your only children?
They're my only two boys.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
But my oldest son has 3 kids, so it's a great. It's funny because we have rehearsals every week at my oldest son's house, Eric, the drummer, and he has a room set up. That's our practice room.
Sure.
I mean, it's fully equipped too, and so we go over there and practice for about 4 hours, and then we have a family dinner. It's great. It's
Oh, life is sweet, right?
It really is.
Nice.
We'll take a little break. Before we go to the break, I want to play a piece of Constant Vision. And I'll ask you about this. I didn't even ask you about the first song. I was just so into it. All right, let's play a little bit of this, and we'll come right back. Glenn Coleman is in the studio. The new CD, or the new album, is called
Relentless.
Relentless. We'll be right back.
Can't forget you. The way you look and how you make me feel.
If you or a loved one is suffering with knee, shoulder, neck or back pain, plantar fasciitis, peripheral neuropathy, and even tennis elbow, and would like to learn about how there are treatments that may benefit you, go to drjuanyordan.com, then listen in on the first and third Thursday at 10 a.m. and hear from health professionals doing these treatments and patients who have benefited from them. First and third Thursdays, 10 a.m. Next Generation MD, right here on The Source.
Greetings, good citizens. Join me, Queen Eleanor, at the 31st Annual Hogtown Medieval Fair, January 28th and 29th and February 3rd, 4th and 5th at the Alachua County Fairgrounds. Join the colourful cast of characters on the streets of Hogtown, where you'll find medieval merriment for the whole family. Cheer on royal knights as they joust for their lady's honour. Watch a living chess match or enjoy performances by gypsy dancers and magicians. Then wander through the marketplace where hundreds of artisans sell their medieval wares. Come one, come all to the Hogtown Medieval Fair.
Sunrise Automotive, this is Matt.
Hey, Matt, it's Dan.
Hey, Dan.
Listen, we're going to be doing some traveling, and I need to make sure the car is in good shape.
Why don't you just bring it on by? Let us check it out. We can check all your belts, your hoses, your tires, all your fluids. In out of town, is that up north in
It
the
is.
cold?
Yep.
Okay, let's check your antifreeze. Also, let's make sure your washer fluid has got alcohol in it so it doesn't freeze up north, because that makes for a rotten day. And let's check your air pressure in your tires. Let's look at your brakes, make sure everything is safe and secure there. Let's go through it and just make sure everything is ready to go on the road. You due for an oil change?
Yep.
Whenever you come in to get your oil change, we always check your belts, your hoses, all your lights. We go through and make sure that everything is working properly. We check all your fluid levels. We do that every time you come in to Sunrise Automotive.
So just call you back at this number?
Yeah, just give me a call back at 690-1993 whenever you're ready to come in. And you can drop it off, leave it with us, whatever's most convenient for you. Look forward to seeing you at Sunrise Automotive.
Cookies, 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 cookies. We go cookie eating cookies.
When you want something special and fun for any occasion, get cookies. King Cookie in the Paddock Mall in Ocala will make a delicious, fun-filled delight just for you. So next time you're in the mall, stop by King Cookie or call 352-237-2557. KingCookieOcala.com. Customized cookies, cakes, and more. King Cookie.
Eating cookies. We're so happy eating cookies. Cookies!
Chase that farmer's daughter, Robin. We all want to chase that. What is it about the farmer's daughter that we like? What is it about that?
Elusive.
Chase her while you get that, while you have the chance.
She's healthy.
She's healthy. You know what it is? She knows how to milk a cow, if you know what I mean. That's what it is. That's about the farmer. All right,
He said that. I didn't.
It's in my contract.
I was thinking it. I just didn't.
I'm supposed to say things like that. Glenn Coleman is in the studio. That music is Glenn. That's how you do it, by the way. Everything is tight. Everything. Oh my gosh, you're so good. That's such great production and such a great songwriter. Your singing is outstanding. Is that you singing on top of yourself?
Right. Yeah.
Overdubbing and
multi-track
harmonizing. Yep. For those who have never done it, everybody who does it doesn't do it well, and Glenn does it well. By the way, you had wild hair in this one picture. Was that in the 70s? Late 77?
That was probably the 80s. Yeah,
80s.
When I came back from England, the band I got in, which was based out of Lake Mary over in Orlando.
Did you have red hair?
No, it's the lights.
It's the lights?
It's the lights,
yeah. You look so wild in that picture.
Yeah, we played a lot.
Do you have a big
around.
beard, too, or is that just the lights?
I'm not sure which picture that is. But, is it the one with the spandex pants?
Yes it is.
Oh, geez.
Yes, it is. Yes. I can't click on it and make it bigger.
They're back in style now, by the way. I mean, you could have a whole different look now.
They're long gone. Wouldn't be the same look either right now.
I went to glenncolemanmusic.com. That's the website. Remember, Glenn spells his first name with 2 N's. And the new album is called Relentless. It's available on iTunes and other places. Eric and Jason are his sons, and they are part of his band. So they are you. You and your sons are the band right now, right?
We are the band.
Are they? You play guitar, I'm assuming.
Yes, I do.
And Eric plays the drums.
Yes.
Jason plays
bass.
So nothing electronic? Nothing at all?
No.
Okay, wow.
The only thing electronic is my guitar and.
Isn't that great? Don't you just love that? Haven't you gotten tired of the electronic stuff? Robert and I went through a phase with the electronic stuff, and it's fun, but it gets old after a while.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. It's hard. Like you say before, you sort of go with what you're good at or what you enjoy. It's like writing songs. I don't try to write songs in a genre that I have no business in.
That's a good point.
Because I don't enjoy it. So
yeah, but whenever there's something new, there's a like a little kid on Christmas morning. You want to play with whatever's new. A synthesizer that sounds like strings. I love strings, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
And I've never had the opportunity to have a real. I did once in Tampa at a studio, and it was one guy who dubbed over, and he was really amazing. But ever since then, it's always been Mellotrons and whatever else was out there.
So you're talking about actual strings as opposed to
I've never had real strings on a recording except for one time in my life when it was somebody else paying for it. So I don't have the recordings.
Right.
So have you ever done real strings?
I don't think
It always
so.
looks good. It always looks good. But there's something about that raw sound. I don't know. There's just something about it.
The band I was in when you were, that picture that you were looking at, we did a lot of recording up in Jacksonville at a studio. And again, somebody else we were on their dime, right? So they were the ones funding it. And one of the songs we had a lot of strings on, but I think that they were electronic. Another song we had horns on, and we had a session horn player in to lay all those down.
Do you still play the horn? I mean, you studied?
No,
not at all.
I don't. My granddaughter, she plays trumpet in the school band.
Oh, nice.
So I've had a chance to verify that I don't play the horn anymore.
Oh, I see. You picked it up and gave it a shot.
I mean, I can play Born Free, and that's about it, you know.
Do you have any tour dates set up yet so we can come and see you play, you and your band?
We're still rehearsing. We don't want to put ourselves out there until we feel we're ready to go. And I know, having done this for many years, when you get into a new band, it's almost like you never really feel like it's time to go out, but at some point in time, you got to push yourself out. So I think there's some songwriter festivals that are going to be around. I know on the East Coast over in the DeLand and Daytona area, they have some. So we're going to probably sign up for one of those within the next few months.
Oh, wonderful.
We had a young guy in the studio, and last night he put a thing on Facebook that he was live in Nashville at one of those open mic nights, you know? And so he wasn't up on stage yet. I guess there was a lottery kind of a system. I guess everybody wants to be on stage in Nashville, right? I'm telling you, they were not that great. Now, the singing was good, but the songwriting is what I'm critiquing right now. I'm just telling you, the songwriting wasn't, I don't know, it did nothing for me, from what I heard. So it's kind of hard to, it's a hard thing to be a good songwriter, yeah.
It takes a lot of time. I mean, you know, these 10-minute songs are few and far between. Most of them are crafted and modified and changed for over a long period of time. At least that's the way it is with me.
I think you're right. And the legacy you're leaving for your sons is I mean, there's nothing you can compare it to. I mean, you can have a box full of photographs and it won't be anything like Dad's old music, you know?
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. It was funny because all my kids and and the grandkids, they all have their own bootleg CD that I made them, which you know, and they play it in their bedrooms on their CD players. You go in their house and that's playing in their room. It's great to hear that.
When I was a kid, there was a disc jockey in New York named Howard Smith, and he had a radio show at night, and he would talk to guys like you. 3-4 hours. I wish we had 3-4 hours to talk to you. It was just, I would just love to just listen to the music, talk to you about your music, but unfortunately we don't. We have.
Well, you've come full circle now, and does this make you nervous knowing you're going to be out there again?
Not really. I enjoy playing live. I think my one of the most fun aspects of this whole deal, being a musician, for me, is actually rehearsals, because that's where you can really dig in and craft a song that you might have just had an idea.
Plus, you have dinner afterwards.
That's right, for sure. But I just love rehearsing. In all my bands over the years, I've always just loved the rehearsal aspect of it. But yes, there's you don't get that contact with other people to get that feedback, which. You know, I really enjoyed that in a band I played out in Texas before I just moved back here last year. That was a lot of fun because we did play out a lot.
Oh, my.
Texas, Dallas.
Glenn Coleman, thank you so much for coming in, sharing your music. Please don't be a stranger. Let us visit us anytime. We love your music, and you're such a great guy. I love talking music. I don't ever really get to talk to music with anybody but Robin, so.
Yeah. He needs to broaden his scope of musicians.
Most people are either mechanics or you know, sports guys or whatever. All right, we're gonna wrap it up with another song. This is called Whispering Pine. I believe we played this last time you were here, by the way. I seem to remember it. Glenn Coleman, thank you so much.
Thanks, Larry. Rob, appreciate it.
Go to the website, GlennColemanMusic.com. Go to iTunes. Anything else we need to leave them with?
There's also some videos available on YouTube. If you search on Glenn Coleman Relentless, that should show up a bunch of different videos.
Okay, we got 40.
Or there's also the record company, gravelroadrecords.com. There's some appearances
Oxford,
there.
England.
Oxford, England.
Thank you, Glenn.
Thank you.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 90.